Alright. Alright. Okay. Good, good. Whoa. Okay. Alright, alright, alright. Alright. Okay. Cool. Hello. Okay. We are good. I believe that we are good. Okay. So first off, a couple changes I made just like 10 minutes ago or half an hour ago. So I took a break. Not much. I did get help with the JSON configuration. So our JSON config class here, we added a new method, convert to JSON object. This method was provided to me by Labbook. I mean, it's not like it's not like patented, like, you know, like whatever. I'm sure this has been used plenty of times before. But he specifically provided, basically this method here, in the Cortex development. So I just added him as an author here with a link to his GitHub. So yeah. So what this does is it takes in our data and creates a new JSON object, and then it loops through our data, and then it sets another current object equal to JSON object, and it takes our path or our key and splits it by period, and then for every string in that split array here, you say if it has this string, or let me just ignore this. So if it doesn't have it, then we add it. We add a new JSON object to it. But if we do, or not, but after that, it sets current equal to current dot get JSON object s, and then it says current dot add property. We got path, and we're adding the last one in the array, so path.length -1, and then we're setting it to value.toString because our value is an object, and then it will loop through again until the map that we're at the last one of the map, and then it returns this JSON object up here, and then we take that and we put that into our JSON.toJSON method instead, because before it looked like that, and now we just pass it into this convert to JSON object method, and then we do the same thing that we've done before, and that's it. But with that in mind, we had to go to our data file down here clipboard JSON file. I made to make the default file just an empty map, or you know, these brackets here instead of this, because if we have this here, it'll keep that in there, and it'll also add another players inside of this. So we're just gonna leave it like that, and that works perfectly fine, at least in my testing. So yeah, the stream title, it is backpacks ? Because I'm thinking we should start this today. I think it's a good thing to work on. I've been kind of wanting to work on them, so why not, right? We're gonna make a new module. I mean, we're just gonna call it backpacks, right? Actually, we should make it right here instead of in there. Instead of by right clicking on modules, we're just gonna right click on there, and then we're gonna say directory modules. That way it doesn't make the modules folder a module, because it shouldn't be. There we go. We have our backpacks. We're gonna make our good luck griddle the same as mine's, pretty much. Again, every time you make a module, it expands everything, which is annoying. Okay, so we have common, abstraction, and NMS common, which is fine. And obviously everything in this plugin here. Okay, so by now we know the drill. We have to make this setup here, right? Let's say new class, freehold Astra, and we'll say modules impl dot backpacks module. There we go. Extends Astra module. Implement those methods. Create the constructor. Space a project out correctly. There we go. And public static final, not null, string ID, static ID equals, and we want it to be equal to backpacks, like that, and then we can remove this parameter in our constructor and just pass in ID. There we go. That's our basic module. Oops, sorry, basic module class. And now we need to set it up in here. Backpacks, we'll go below Omni tool here. Let's go ahead and modules NMS, and we'll put this as commons. There we go, just to make this a little more readable. Okay, and now we need our main build.gradle right here. Implementation project modules backpacks. There we go. Good to go there. And now our main class, we need to simply add register our new modules. Alright, so we have a Git instance, so let's do that here as well. Alright, static backpacks module. There we go. And obviously we can make this final, and we can make this private. There we go. That should be the same for our other modules, right? This one needs to be final. And that's private. There we go. Let's make sure we do the same for Omni tool. It's right here. There we go. Yep, constructor is private and the class is final. There you go. Okay, so now we need to decide how do we want to do backpacks. And I'm thinking I have a pretty good idea for it. I'm thinking we do something like I'll lay it out in a config file, and then that'll be our foundation for what we're making. There you go. It looks better in my opinion. Instead of defining our members and our static stuff like this on the same line, I like to define them in the, I like to declare them and then define them in the static block or in the constructors. You could absolutely do it like what you're saying. Have could absolutely have it like how you're saying, but I just prefer it this way. It's a personal, preference thing. Okay, so backpacks. How do I want to lay out this file? First off, I think this is our main config for backpacks. Let's try tiers.yml, right? And we'll have tiers, and we'll have tier 1. We need a material for it. For now, we'll just call it a chest. And display name. Do backpack. Dark gray. Like Roman numeral 1. There we go. And our lore. I think we'll have lore somewhere else. Because I think we want common lore, right? I don't want to say this. Because we need to know how many are in the backpack currently and how big the backpack is, right? So capacity, and we want amount. So amount and capacity, and then we want a amount bar, I think. And we can say bar will be like how do we want to say this? Like, what's it called? Like, we're gonna have a bar that looks like this, right? But what is this character here technically called? Do we want to call it progress bar or mount bar? I'm putting a lot of thought into this, but I don't want to have to change it later. We might anyways. And you know what we might do? We might just say lore header. And we might have another one for footer. And we'll have the specific lore in between the header and footer. We'll put that in here for each tier. That could be tier specific. And you could just leave it empty, obviously, and just have the header. That's completely fine. It's just extra configuration options. What is the character? You know, why not? There you go. Or maybe just bar. I don't know. We'll say full color green. Empty color gray. You know what? How do I want this to work? Could also have a gradient, right? What if we just did a format? No. Man, okay. This is interesting. How do we want to configure this? Is the real question here. We'll just put it like this for now. Fill color is what we can call this one. Green. Empty color. Say gray. There you go. Footer can have. Oh yeah, we need to space this out. That. There you go. We're gonna have that, and then we're gonna say white. Right click to sell all. There we go. And so for this functionality, we need to add a, like, you know, what currency are we going to, you know, like, what currency are we going to sell these blocks for? And so, yeah, let's make our configs here first before we move too far ahead of ourselves. Okay, and obviously a tier we're gonna need max capacity, say 128. Wait, how much? 64, 64? Yeah. 2 stacks of blocks is our max capacity, which is not a lot. So maybe we'll do a little more than that. It's 64 times 9, right? So 9 inventory slots, 576. It's basically one row, right? I said 576. Yeah, yep. Okay, it's basically one row of a chest. One chest row equals 576. Okay, so yeah, one row, a max capacity, and we're not actually gonna have a GUI for this, so it doesn't matter how many items we actually put in there. We could have any amount of stacks, we could have any amount of, we don't even have to have it be a multiple of 64. So, okay. So we have tier 1, right? Tier 2. or here, what if we say, because I kind of want different upgradable backpacks, right? So we'll say common or basic, and then we'll put the tiers inside of there. Right, so you have the basic backpack. It has one tier of 576 capacity, and we'll do tier 2 material chest, display name, do white, basic backpack, dark gray, gray, tier 2, and we'll obviously have to change this here to, we don't need white because it's default white. There we go. Basic backpack tier 1 and tier 2, and max capacity, we'll do another, hello, welcome back to the stream. You missed the last stream, but that's probably my fault. I streamed really late. I started at like 12 something, my time at least. Yeah. Right now I'm just laying out the foundation for how backpacks should work, I think. So instead of 576, what if we split this in half? So that means by 2 is 288. And then this can be the full row of item amounts, right? And we can go from basic, we can go to, what's a good tier, what's a good like next tier backpack name instead of basic? Or maybe we could call this one starter. No, we'll just call it basic. People can rename it if they want to. But this one should be what exactly? Basic, man, I suck at naming things. Maybe okay. Maybe we'll just do common and rare and all that stuff, because, you know, why not? Common, okay, there we go. So then we'll do rare, and rare will start off at tier 2 of common. Is it ender chest, right? Let's check. Yep, okay. Well, ender chest, and then name. And we'll do blue, rare backpack, dark gray, gray 1, dark gray. Okay, there we go. 576, and then tier 2, we'll have obviously tier 2 like that, and then we'll say 576 plus yeah, good suggestion. Yeah, I'm not sure. I really suck at naming things. I don't know. I mean, it's just the default config. People can definitely change it later on, right? Like, they're not gonna stick with the default config, hopefully. Otherwise, I don't know what kind of server they're making, but it's probably not gonna be very good. Okay. Cool. And we can get rid of this. All right, 576. This is a 1 row of a chest, and this is this here is 2 rows of a chest. And I think we'll cap it there for the default configuration because we don't need a whole file. We don't need to do all their work for them. We just need to have a proper example for how to do it. Okay. Gonna DM from someone. Not gonna worry about that. So now that we aren't calling these tiers, these are the tiers, we want to rename this file to backpacks and just have this stuff at the top of it. I think we'll do that. So delete this one. And then here, we should put it right there, right? It's good. And then we can rename this one to backpacks.yml. And then that means here we get rid of tiers because we don't have that anymore. There we go. Get rid of you. Perfect. Got another DM. Okay, this person is really wanting to DM here. So data API, you're taking me like databases? Because JSON's definitely not a database, by the way. One of the most common databases I use is SQLite because it's a flat file database, meaning it is stored in your plugins folder like a config file would be, but it's still a actual database using SQL. That one's really easy to set up and utilize. And then if you want an online database, MySQL or MariaDB is a better version of MySQL, but I think people use both. Like I think LutPerms has both. There's MongoDB, which I've never used, but is faster. I think. Not sure. Yeah, but JSON is just like something for JSON files, right? If you really want to store like player data, I would definitely go SQLite if you're not trying to do anything fancy. I don't think you were here for the last stream, so you didn't see what I used JSON for. But I made a clipboard.json for our mines so that we can store people's selections with the mine wand. That way I didn't have to constantly select the mine region to fill it back in for testing. So like that, I'm just storing in a JSON file. No, that's fine. But yeah, that I'm storing in there, and all it is players, and then it's like my UUID, and then it's corner 1, and then you have the world UUID X, Y, and Z, and then it's corner 2 and it has the same thing. And this is all I'm storing per player in this one file. And it's not only, and it's not for every player, it's only for staff that have the Astra admin permission to actually use the mine wand. So only they would have their data stored in here. Yeah. Yeah, structure like, I don't know. I mean, SQLite is just a table of data, you know, like rows and columns. And it's better than storing in a file for I see it like different tiers of data storage for players. You could store it in all one file for every player, which could be janky and not recommended, or you can do a file per player, which is better. I know some plugins use like YML for use YML like a YML file per player, but even that's not good. You can use JSON in that way, which is better than YML, or you could just do an SQLite database. Yeah. Yeah. So I can imagine what you would use JSON for in that regard. Like, you know, that would make sense. Like I can see you doing teams. Come on. Test, right? And then players. Player 1. Role. Player 2. Role. Yeah, I can see you doing that, but like. Yeah, see, in my opinion, your head is screwed when it's JSON. Jason, what do you mean by that? Is it? I mean, it's not that. I mean, you could this is definitely readable and changeable for sure. This is known as pretty printing when it looks like that. Otherwise, usually it's all one line and it just goes on forever, which is not fun to read. I'll show you how I do JSON. You can disregard how I made it work specifically, but I have a class with a map of string and object. Yeah, but I just have a map of string object, and that holds all of our data for every key. And by key, I mean like teams.test.players.playername.role, for instance. That would be one key. And then the object would be the role name in that instance. And then to actually manipulate that, obviously you just do map.add, map.put, map.remove, whatever. The path and the object or the value, right? And to actually save that to the file and stuff, here we have the save changes method, which you get a JSON string from JSON. And to make the periods work, to make nesting work in the file, you have to manually split the key by a period and loop through and have all that stuff. Which I just got from Loudbook in Cortex. And there's only really one file structure when it comes to JSON. It's a very strict format. But I mean, I'm like just saving. It's really simple. You just do this loop stuff. Yeah, I'm not sure what you mean then. Because I know the syntax of JSON, and there's only one of those. But then, yeah, JSON string, write it to the file, and you're good to go. And then reloading, set the map from JSON file reader, the file, hashmap.class, and that's all it really is. I don't really know JSON that well. These two classes are basically the extent of my knowledge on it. Besides the syntax, I know the syntax because I worked with it outside of making this stuff here. But yeah, it's not too difficult. I'm sure you'll get it. Okay. So yeah, backpacks. We need a way to be able to store all of the items, or at least like a list of materials, right? On the PDC. And I'm not so sure I want to make a key for like every item, because that wouldn't make sense. And we're not storing any item information, so all we're going to store on it is the material and like the amount of that material, I think. But yeah, I'm not quite sure how we're going to do that, because I've never made like a list of data in a PDC before. But we'll find out. Save that, and then we're going to go to a new package. Right there. Backpack. And so this backpack will have string name, right? And then it'll have tiers. So we'll have backpack tier. String ID, no. Private final string display name and a final string material, and we're also going to have some model data. There we go. Public backpack tier. So we're going to pass in, we're going to make this a final class, and we need to pass in the tier, and then we can say, and the tier here acts as the ID, right? So maybe we can start it at 0. But also, this doesn't really matter that much. It needs to be unique. So this could be a string even. Actually, we're just gonna make it an integer. We'll have some code in place to make sure they only put an integer here. When we're looping through the backpacks and then looping through the tiers, if it's not an integer, we'll just ignore it. Basically, that's what we'll do. Config equals oh yeah, we need to make a get backpacks YML. The thing is, it's like, I think I might want to pass in our config here. That way we don't have to be restricted to the one file there. So this out here equals tier, right? Material equals config options get string backpacks dot plus and we need the string name of the backpack as well. Or you know what, we'll do a path to it, path to the name of it. So like that. Path plus dot, and we'll actually say path plus equals tier plus dot. So we already have that. So we just need to say path plus material, and we'll say chest as default. And you know what we'll do? It's even better. We'll make this an actual material. And then we'll say try catch illegal argument exception material equals material dot chest. And that means this needs to not be final. And obviously this is material dot value of. There we go. Cool. And then custom model data. Options get int path plus custom model data 0 by default. Display name, okay. Options get string path plus display name. And you know, we'll make it nullable because why not? I'm pretty sure if you set the display name to null on an item meta, it'll set it back to just the normal name of the material. String, int get tier, return tier. Don't really need that for anything, but you know, why not? Public get custom model data. Public nullable string display name. There you go. And since we are passing in the config here, I wanted to change what we did for something else, right? So I think we did like the same thing for here. Pass in the level, and then yeah. So I think I wanted to pass in the config here as well. Do that, and then we have the key already, which is fine. And then that means we need to pass in the config here. And that means we need to do the same for our two related problems. So right here, it's fine. We're just passing in the config there. And then same thing down here. Right, because this is the config that we're using by default in our unreload method. But if I wanted to, I could change it to use something else later on. So there we go. Or if I wanted to make tiers somewhere else, I mean. Okay. So our tiers are done. Oh wait, we need the max capacity actually. I lied. So first off, let's put custom model data in 0. Okay. Alright, final int max capacity. Other options get int path max capacity. And we'll say 64 by default, so stack of items. Okay, there's our tiers. We're gonna have backpacks, right? So backpack is also gonna be its own object. Final map backpack tier. Backpack. Final not null. Big final not null string. Name. Start name equals name. Tiers, new hash map. Okay. Options, get configuration section here. Of course, we're gonna make this final as well. So there's our path. Backpacks dot plus name, right? So we can just put this here. Okay. So this is our tiers. If section is null, and we will we should make a default tier, because like if you just make a backpack and don't have any tiers in it, what's it gonna do when you try to give someone a new backpack, right? So if it's null, then tiers put 0 new backpack tier. Problem is this requires obviously a config, and it's going to search itself through the config. So we can't actually do that. Instead, we can make another constructor to pass in our own information. Backpack 2. Material. One custom model data. Final string display name. So there we go. I'm gonna go ahead and expand this out, make it more readable. So now people can make a backpack by just calling new and passing all the required information. To this dot material equals material, this dot custom model data, this dot display name, this equals display name, this dot max capacity. There we go. And so now we can actually say I think we could do right, so maybe I'm not too sure this tier. I'm not sure if this has to be the first statement. If it does, then yeah, the main benefit is organization and readability, yeah. And also there are sometimes, you know, you might be required to do so, like NMS modules, for instance, versions. So if you want to have multiple versions supported while using NMS, you're gonna need a module for each NMS version, and another module for, say, like all the methods that you're overriding, so that you can actually access the methods in each version. So in this case, we are doing an NMS handler. We're accessing this and these methods here, and we're having another way to define what abstract NMS handler is in our code, and whichever one it is equal to is the one it'll call from these modules here. So here, right, NMS handler, abstract handler, and all the methods are implemented here. So that's one reason it's required, or would be required if you do that. Meanwhile, another reason is organization. Massive projects usually benefit from it. You could do all this, or you could do a smaller, if you have a smaller plugin, you could just put it in here with the NMS versions if you're doing that. You know, that's basically it. Yeah. Wait, can I do this? Right. Does this have to be the first line is my question. This has to be, yeah, it must be the first statement. So we're just gonna ignore this and not use that. Okay, so there we go. Now we can make a new tier without having to pass in our config, because obviously there won't be anything there. That's because the section is null. So we obviously just need to make our own backpack tier. What's the next parameter? Tier.chest. No, that's the default. Why is it? Oh, okay. Custom model data, display name, and max capacity. Backpack tier 1 is default, and then let's do that. Max capacity 64 is the default. And then we will return here. And so if it's not null, we will loop through it. And this will be the tier try to equals integer parse int id catch number format exception return. If it's not an integer, we don't want it. We're just gonna ignore it. Okay. Okay, and obviously this isn't gonna loop through it in order if we were to put tier 1 before tier 0, so okay, cool. I don't think we should have to save them in order, in my opinion. Yeah, let's just ignore the good luck with that. I mean, it's not too hard to do like a team chat. All you need to do is loop through the players in their team and send the message to them. But yeah. Okay, I think we're gonna do this a different way. Because yeah. Size, there we go. Okay. Right. So we're gonna loop through from 0 to the size of the amount of tiers we have. And we're gonna ignore the configuration for it. Sorry. So this returns a set of keys. Right. Final int size, keys.size. And since this is a set, we can't do like get I. So how do I want to approach this? Maybe make it a list. No, this isn't gonna work. Maybe this will work. Yeah, it'll work. Okay, right. But this doesn't guarantee the order of it, which is the problem. You know what? I don't know, it should be fine. Just get I, so this is the string path, right? Or key. So, okay, so that's the key that will pass in to our backpack tier instead of this, right? We'll have tier and the path. Yeah. So in the path, we just ignore that. There we go. Tier is still going to be the index instead of the name of the tier. So that way you don't have to have 0, 1, 2, blah blah blah. You could have 1, 0, 2, 3, or you could just have a string here. Either way, it's just going to start from here and go down. So, yeah. But you know what? We don't even need to do all this. Section, get keys, false. We still do a for each here. So the key will be the same that we're doing. Index equals new atomic integer 0. Okay, so there we go. Make that final because you can't use an outside variable inside a for each loop if it's not final, which is what atomic integers are basically for. Well, not really, but you know, they're good for that. So index, increment, and get. So we'll just say get. So this is the index. All right, so there we go. Index increment. Set I plus 1. There we go. So if you don't know what an atomic integer is, or there's also atomic double and atomic long, I think, and atomic boolean. There's a lot of different atomics here. It's basically a class that'll store your value in it instead of just the value itself. So that way you can access it here and you can modify it here. That's what atomic is useful for. So yeah. That's I, that'll be the tier. So new backpack tier config. The path to it is path plus dot plus name or plus key plus dot. That's the path. And the tier is I, and that's that. Okay. So now we can say tiers put I in the new backpack, and then we're done. Of course, we gotta make sure tier is just tier. Path is just the path now. So yeah, there we go. We're good. Okay, so our tiers are populated, our name is set. Now we can do string get name public. We can say you know what, we don't need that. We could just say map back tier get tiers to a new map of tiers. That way they can't modify what they're getting from here. And obviously we need to make this not null. Or we don't need to, but it's better that way. Okay. And yeah, I know too bit about webhooks. I was just referring to the chat, like the in-game chat specifically. Okay, so that's that, and we need to say map pack tier get tier int tier tiers get or default tier null. You say null. And let's make a default tier static final. You know, let's make it in the backpack tier class. All right, that's good. Tier 0 material dot chest 0. This will be this will be what is it? Just backpack. There we go. And that. Right. Now public static not null backpack tier get default. And we're gonna make a copy constructor. We actually also need a getter for our max capacity. Return max capacity. Here we go. And now we need to say, yeah, we're gonna make a copy constructor here. Public backpack tier. We'll actually make it private. No. So that means this dot tier equals backpack tier dot tier. This dot material equals backpack tier dot material equals just backpack tier. There we go. Display name equals. There we go. Or we can actually, better yet, we can just say this backpack tier backpack tier material backpack tier custom model data backpack tier dot display name backpack tier dot. God dang it, nice capacity. There we go. So there's our private copy constructor here. Turn new backpack tier default. There we go. So now we have a default tier in which we can go back here and we can just say put 0 new. Instead of new, we'll say backpack tier dot get default. There we go. And that'll return a new default backpack tier. So there we go. That's all good. So get tier. is nullable, and we want to say public get next tier. Well, actually, we don't need that because it'll just be, you know, +5. But we can say public boolean has next tier. We don't need return tiers contains key current tier +1. There you go. And now, okay, sure. So now we need to make a backpack manager, basically. Alright, final map string backpack, and then we have backpacks. You know, we don't need to pass in the config. We'll be fine. Backpacks equals new hash map, public void on reload. We'll call on reload here. Backpacks dot clear. All right. Okay, I might need an opinion here because I just had a thought. We could make this a lot simpler and have backpacks look the same, except you have a give command to give a backpack, and then you give the capacity with that command, and then that'll act like a backpack forever. Or we can keep it how it is. But then the question is, what happens if somebody removes a backpack or a tier from the config? You know, what happens to the pre-existing backpacks that players have? That's the question. We could remove them from their inventory when we're looping through the player's inventory to check which backpacks they have to add to when they're mining blocks. Or we can just ignore it when we're doing that. I think we'll just do that. We'll just ignore the backpacks that don't exist in the config and the tiers that don't exist in the config. But the thing is, then what do we do when we when they sell from it? I guess we could still sell the materials in the non-existent backpack, but it just won't be added to ever again. So, okay, I think we could do that. I think we'll just do that. I think that's fine. Config equals module, get that, okay. Configuration section equals Git configuration section backpacks. Okay. Okay. Section get keys false for each key. Okay. Backpacks. Put new backpack config key. And then obviously we need to put key. There we go. So now we have a map of backpacks, and each backpack has a map of tiers. And there we go. And when we make a new backpack, it'll automatically construct the tiers. So I think we're done with that. And then now we could say public boolean exists string backpack final. We'll just do that. Return backpacks contains key. We'll actually rename this to ID. We'll say, what should make a method here? Public boolean exists. Not normal string ID. Final int tier, right? Backpack equals backpacks get or default ID null. If backpack is null, return false, and return backpack that has tier, and then we'll make that method. So there we go. All right. So we don't need to get the tier from the backpack. All we need to do is get the backpack from the tier, or from the name of it, and then get the tier from that backpack. Okay. We'll say if. That's fine. Okay. Public nullable backpack get backpack null string ID return get or default ID null. Okay. And we'll say public null list string. We can say set string get backpacks. We'll just do a list. Get backpack names or IDs, I should say. New array list backpacks dot key set. Okay, there we go. Okay, good. Cool. There's our backpack manager. We're done with that. We're gonna make the backpack manager in here. We're gonna make a getter. Okay, there we go. Cool. Okay, what should we do now? We need to We need to be able to loop through players' backpacks, and obviously we need to also make like a create item, right? So tier material is modulated display name at capacity. Okay. Public item stack create backpack item. Final item stack item equals new material. Okay. All right. I get that. Let's see. Backpack. Integer tier. So we're gonna make this our own somewhere, our own key somewhere, right? So we're not done with this. We need to do we need to set the contents as well. All right, sounds good. There's no need to feel bad about leaving now, by the way. You're fine. Max capacity, yep. So maybe in the backpack manager we can say, or in here actually, we'll do in here. There we go, and then the keys. Let me say it has your backpack. Okay. Public. Get backpack key. Public. Get contents key. Okay. Final persistent data container. array set right. Alright, and total items. Alright, final map. This. Okay, here we go. Add material. And what I want to do is put backpack content in there, I think. We don't really need to store the material in there. Public void increment add set amount equals amount. Sorry, plus equals amount. Public void remove amount plus minus equals amount. Where is stop? Dot max 0 set amount minus amount. There you go. It won't go below 0. Public int get turn amount. There you go. That way we can just say then we could say content public backpack content public backpack content materials put material amount return, otherwise materials get material dot add amount. There you go. That way we don't have to, if it's already in it, we don't have to get it, add to it, and then put it back in the map. We just have to get the object that's stored there and then add to that object. return, okay. Materials get material dot remove amount. Okay. Actually, we can say final backpack content. Content remove mount. Okay. If content get 0 materials dot remove material. There we go. That way we can free it up. If you don't have any of that material in there, we remove it from the map. Okay. Also, we need to say total items plus equals amount. We're gonna adjust this method here. Public int, right? Remove, right? So we're gonna say we're gonna return how much left over we have if we go below 0, or we're gonna return how much we have left over, or we're just gonna return the new amount. So that way, if we go below 0, we can tell how much below 0 we went behind by. So if it's less than or equal to 0, total items minus equals and return, right? And amount equals amount. Less than or equal to 0, then equals okay, what are we doing here? What am I doing here? I need to make it so that total items removes this amount, but if there isn't that amount to remove, then we can only remove how much we had. So you know what we should do? We should say int current amount equals content by get. Okay, and now new amount is remove if new amount less than or equal to 0, then total items minus equals current amount. Otherwise, total items minus equals amount. There we go. Right. We didn't actually, yeah, content dot remove. There we go. So we remove it from there. If it's less than or equal to 0, then we say total items minus the current amount that we had and remove it from the map. Otherwise, we just set total items minus equal to the amount that we removed. So there we go. Public map material get materials return new hash map materials dot turn materials stream, sorry, interset stream. This is yeah, collect collectors to map. So we say e get key e get value dot get. So now this should return a map of material integer. Yes, and I think that is what it is doing. So there we go. Yes, so let me explain this here. First off, we say our materials map that we have up here, and then we're getting the entry set from the map. So this is a set, or it's a map of KV, or more correctly, it's a set of map.entries KV, right? And then we stream that set and we collect everything in it to a map of the key from the set, and then we access the key from the set, or the value from the set here, and then we say what we are wanting to return from the value. So we want to return the amount or the integer. So there we go. So everybody can get the materials in their backpack, and then, or from their backpack contents, to see how much money they make when they sell, and that'll come later. And then remove all materials clear. And this will clear or empty their backpack. And then also we need to say total items equals 0. Total items hopefully should never go below 0 as well, because we will never go below, because we can't remove more than what's already in the map, right? If it doesn't have that value in there in the first place and it returns, and then we remove the content from the backpack content, and if that goes below 0, then or equals 0, then we only remove the current amount that was already in there. So there we go. Get total items, total items. There you go. And also we need to, okay, yeah, this is fine. We don't need to check here, but we need to check when we're adding to our backpack, which we also need to figure out for later. So list, we're gonna say something else here, right? So what does this want me to put in there? So obviously, what does this want? Require type, list persistent data type provider. New, and this is not public. Right, okay. List persistent data type dot right, list persistent data type dot, and then the type that we're gonna have. But we don't want necessarily that, any of those. So I think we want to create our own PDC data type. So I do believe that's possible. We just have to figure out how. Okay, yeah, here we go. This looks exactly like what I want. So it has, this is by Anton, the community manager of Cortex Development, which is Cody Simpson's Discord server. So I think backpack content persistent data type. Which we want to make in our common utilities, right? What do we want? Custom PDC. And what we need is E extends question mark. T, E extends T. I think that should work. I don't know. So basically we're going to use E, and E will extend whatever T is. So yeah, and this implements persistent data type. Does a string E. I think we'll do. I think we could do that. And then we have these methods that we have to override. So get primitive type. I'm not sure. He just returns string.class. And then he, so E, right? So that he does string.class, and then has a constructor and a private field member, class E, E class, we should do that. And this is class E class, dot E class equals E class. And we can actually name this class. Do that. Okay, and now this returns E class to primitive. Right. This returns complex dot to string, interestingly enough. And then this is, okay, to primitive and from primitive, right? So to string and then from primitive, say, right, so we need to convert it from a string to you know, whatever here. Yeah, he has that value of, but that's because E extends enum for him. So we'll just return primitive string for now. So what I was imagining, I don't think we can do. So we're gonna have to just make this what we want exactly, which is storage versus data type, and this will be basically we're gonna have our backpack content stored, or backpack contents stored, sorry. But that's interesting. All right. But you know what? I think it's been an alright stream so far. I will look more into this off stream, so I actually know what I'm doing, and you guys don't have to sit through and watch me figure it out. And of course, I'll explain it on stream next time. But if you'd like, you can go into Cortex Development. You can Control F for custom PDC, not in any specific channels. And you'll see the first one currently is from Anton. It's in a post called Java, Kotlin, Groovy, Scala, Generic Persistent Data Type for enums. And it's in the Helpful Code forum channel in the Cortex Development Discord. If you want to link to Cortex Development Discord, I'm sure you can find it through Cody Simpson's YouTube channel. Yeah. Or you know what, I can just... No, I don't know. Yeah, okay. Anyways, I think that's it for now. We did a lot of work on our backpacks, although we still have a lot more to go. I would stream longer, but I don't know, I feel like my brain's kind of lost the plot. Just kind of mindlessly coded all of this, and honestly I might redo it. Just to have a better idea of what we want exactly. Because, you know, it happens sometimes to where you're like, okay, well, I did all of this stuff, but I don't know if I'm happy with it, you know? All this is, it's not bad, but like compared to our OmniTool classes and our Mine classes currently, it's definitely, these are definitely better. You have better organization, better structure. Alright, so now that we did it once though, when we redo it, we'll have a better idea of how to do it, so it won't take as long. I don't know. I don't even know if I'm going to record it. We'll see. I'll try and figure it out when I'm off stream. And I also have more schoolwork this week, obviously, so I have to focus a bit on that as well. So again, this month the streams might slow down a bit because of schoolwork. I have 2 classes this month instead of 1. I had 1 class the past 2 months, so it was a lot easier. But yeah, one of them isn't that hard at all. Another one is English Composition 1, and they're having us do a lot of writing, and I do not like writing. So yeah, we'll see. And I'm also thinking of streaming a game sometime as well, because that would be fun. But can't promise when, can't promise what game. I won't tell what game. I have a game in mind, but you know, I'm not gonna tell yet. But it'll happen when it happens. Just look out for that, I suppose. Because I also, when I do start streaming a game, I want to have a Discord server ready for that. So just like a general streaming Discord instead of the one linked in the description right now. Oh, sorry, right now, which is a specifically for Astra, this project. So yeah. But thanks for tuning in, everyone. Hope you have a good day or night. And I know we didn't really do that much in here in this stream. It's kind of honestly, in my opinion, it's been a bit of a throwaway stream. I had a good like thing going at the beginning with the backpacks, but yeah, I just kind of, I don't know. We'll see. We need to get menus done as well to continue our work on mines. Yeah. Alright. See you guys in the next one.